There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line. My name's Evan. I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Ella.
Hello.
I mean,
The Leafs, am I right?
what a week it's been, you know?
Oh,
Um,
hockey.
I saw a tweet, and I believe it was James Myrtle who tweeted this, where it was like, oh, this is Leafs have 5 wins in their last 23 games, which is
Mm,
time, which is they've achieved a stretch as bad as this 4 times before, and proceeds to list off stretches of games from the worst times in Leafs hockey.
yeah.
It's like one of them includes the really infamous, which if people aren't familiar with this press conference, I think it's got some of the best quotes out there. It's from Brian Burke, was general manager of this team, and he described the team like an 18-wheeler going off a cliff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this season has felt like. I think you could describe it the same way.
Mm,
Um, so the big news out of the way, though, first of all, is that we talked about it last episode with Austin Matthews' MCL injury, the potential of him requiring surgery. It was announced this past week that he had MCL surgery in New York City, and his recovery timeline is 12 weeks, which means nothing because the Leafs have not even 12 games left in the season anymore. Thank God, we're almost done. Um, they have 11 games left now, but 12 weeks, meaning that hopefully that's what 3 months. So hopefully then he should be fine to start the season. Again, now there's always concerns with knee injuries that he won't be the same player, but I think with an MCL injury, it's one of those things where it's recoverable enough that I don't think it's going to affect him. Like people
mm,
have had worse injuries and have come back fine. So
yeah.
I think I don't think it should be a concern unless it presents itself to become a concern.
Mm,
I'm if he just if his knee decides to prove me wrong and he's absolutely terrible in next season because he's got a bum knee, then so be it. But I mean, hopefully he has a speedy recovery. Speaking of knee injuries, I have a whole section here on just weird Craig Berube comments from the past week. And
yeah,
it's
the
the fact that I
man's
have
been on
three
a.
different quotes to talk about when it comes to Craig Berube talking to the media. That is kind of, I don't know, crazy and also concerning.
Yeah, it's not great.
No.
Um,
The first one of these that I was going to get out of the way was the fact that Matthew Nyes talked about a lingering knee issue that he's been dealing with all season, basically, that we've known about. We knew about it before, Christmas. We knew about it before going into the Olympic break, and now we're hearing about it now, being that it's still an issue despite him having 3 weeks off during the Olympics, and he went to Arizona and got this treatment and all these things and saw multiple physiotherapists about
mm,
this because he saw one with Joseph Wool and then he saw one with his University of Minnesota, former University of Minnesota teammate. If you were looking at the who Matthew Nyes' Instagram tags. It's on
yeah.
2 different, which I was I laughed a little bit about. I was like, oh my goodness.
Mm, it's like, oh, shocking.
But yeah. Um and so there's it was multiple quotes from Matthew Nyes. I think there was enough quotes that it was not just one quote. It was there was a full long fledged athletic article about it. And then
Yeah.
the media understandably then goes and asks Craig Rube being hey, so Matthew Nye spoke on the fact that he's been dealing with a nagging knee injury that's not going to get worse, but won't get better until the season's over. Which, if this is any other team with half a brain of hey, we're tanking, what should we do? Oh, I don't know. Maybe not play him. Right? And then Craig
Mm.
Berube has the audacity to be like, I don't think he's hurt. This is the first I'm hearing about this.
My guy.
Brother.
My guy, it's your fucking team.
What do you mean? The nagging knee injury to Matthew Nyes that has been a storyline since basically November. Since
Yeah,
he
like
missed
this
those games in
isn't.
November. Like, this is like not like, oh, in the past couple of games. No, this has been like most of the season. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's like, how is
this
it
is the
news
first
to
I'm hearing
you?
about this.
How is it news to you? This is.
This should not be news to you.
You are in charge of these men. What do you mean?
Like, you should probably be aware of like, and like the trainer, if like Matthew Nyes being like, hey, my knee's still bugging me, the trainer should then go to Craig Berube and be like, hey, Matthew's knee is bugging him.
Yeah, or also like if it's been bugging him all season, which it has, it's like, do you not think maybe it would have, I don't know, come up in conversation? It's
Or
not
like
something
even
that you.
also the fact of like like not like, oh, sources, there's this rumor. No, Matthew Nyes talked about it like a month ago.
Yeah,
Like
like he's
prior to the
not
Olympics, which I
exactly
guess is
kept
now
it
like
secret.
2 months ago. Crazy. But like prior to the Olympics, he was like, yeah, I got this knee thing that's been bugging me. Hopefully, the 3 weeks off I'm getting because of this extended break because of the Olympics will help me and will solve my issue. And
Mm.
then like Craig Berube didn't know about it then. And then here's the craziest part about all of this. As if Craig like just wants to be like a toddler who's like, no, I don't want to. I don't believe you. He then goes and plays Matthew Nyes a team leading 24 minutes against the Ottawa Senators, like 2 nights later.
Mm. It's like, dude, dude, what are you doing?
Half a brain. Half a brain.
I that's generous.
Like 2 brain cells that you can like rub together and be like, let me create a coherent thought. The next
Mm.
craziest quote, because this isn't even like the craziest thing that Craig Berube has like
No.
admitted to or have said to the media in the last week. The next crazy Craig Berube comment, which like if we had started, we could do a whole segment on this and like have it be a recurring segment. But the thing is I think Craig Berube is hopefully he gets fired at the end of the season, so like hopefully we don't have to make this a segment
Mm.
that's like recurring
Please. I
because we
don't know
don't
what's
have to
wrong
deal with
with.
Craig Berube anymore. Um, sorry, there's just like a truck parked in a very strange. Oh, okay, never mind.
Mm.
All right, never mind. There's just a truck like that stopped in a weird spot outside my window. Um, but the crazy. So after the Leafs game on Friday night against the Carolina Hurricanes, in which Joseph Woll started his like fifth game in 6 day, like 6 games or something, like really stupid. Like he's
Mm.
gotten 1 game off in the past like 2 weeks or something. It's been
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's been very interesting, like way of like being like, hey, so like what's going on with why aren't you playing Anthony Stolarz? Not gonna
Mm.
comment, but like also. Um Joseph Woll, he faces for like his like multiple straight start. Like since the Olympic break, basically,
Mm.
Joseph Woll has faced at least 30 shots every single time he's been in net.
Give
Which like
the guy a break.
eventually score effects is going to come into play, and like unless your goalie routinely stands on his head every single night, which like would be nice
Mm.
but also like is totally unrealistic for any hockey
Yeah.
team and any goaltender, because even like Igor Shesterkin or Elias Rokin or like any of those guys who are Vezina favorites
Mm.
will have a bad night. Connor Hellebuck will have a bad night. Like that's just like how goaltending works. Vasilevsky will have a bad night. Sergei Bobrovsky this season has had multiple bad nights. Like that's just the way goaltending works.
Mm.
You can't like after this game on Carolina, Craig Berube, and I gotta read this quote because I like literally I was like, I can't believe he said this. This is uh insane and nuts.
Yeah.
Um who started 5 of the last 6 games. This quote was via Mark Masters, but Lance Hornby had the one that like really did numbers. He's played well, but like tonight, in the end, I know we need a save, whether it's the OT or one of the breakaways. As soon as you have to say one of the breakaways, I don't think it becomes a problem for your goaltender. I don't think your
No.
goaltender becomes the problem. I think it's the rest of your fucking team.
Yeah, also, like,
You
I'm
know,
not
you just need a
being
big
funny,
save
Craig.
there. Okay,
How,
logically, any
how many
game
fucking saves do you want?
that is close or like is a like is a one goal game until whatever you pull the goalie for the extra attacker and the other team scores, right? Like any game that's quote unquote close in that way where like one big save could have given you the win. This one went to OT, so like obviously it's a close game because it went to overtime. Is it close in any other aspect of the word in terms of the shots on net, the shot attempts, anything like that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was not a close game in any way except for the fact that like Joseph Wool made it a close game
Mm,
because the rest of the team didn't help.
which, that's been happening quite a lot lately.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know how anyone watches that game against Carolina in which like at one point, and this is like there was still like a considerable amount of time left in the game. At one point, they put up like the shot attempts
Mm, like,
for both teams, as Sportsnet tends to do, and it was like 80 to like 36 for
uh,
Carolina,
which is insane.
which is insane. Like you, like I can't like, but it's like yeah, okay, technically a big save would have helped here or there, but also it's like you're the rest of the team still has to like play well, and I think some of it too is like for Craig Berube, he can blame the goaltender because then he doesn't have to accept the fact that his system sucks ass or that his
Mm,
team has given up on him because he can't be like, oh well, I guess the rest of like we just didn't score enough, which is like true because you didn't.
nope.
Or like you can't just be like, well, our team's bad. But I think putting the blame on Joseph Wool and being like, well, we needed a big save on one of the breakaways. Hey, how about we don't do that? We don't
How about we
allow
stop having
breakaways. How
this
about
many
you have a
breakaways?
PK that like
Works.
works that doesn't allow the like or how about you have a power play that like doesn't allow the other team to score on it? Because like the Carolina Hurricanes scored on the power play, scored on the penalty kill, they scored shorthanded, scored on a penalty shot, which like I guess then you could be like, oh well, if he made the save on the penalty shot, bro, I don't care.
Nope.
Like I don't know how you can sit here and be like, and James Myrtle also put up like this expected goals chart. And if you look at it, there are three like expected goals. And it's like a bar graph and it combines like all of the guys with considerable. There were three guys on the Carolina Hurricanes whose expected goals combined was more than the entire Leafs roster.
Ah, I just,
So I think Joseph Wool is the only reason that game went to OT and you got the point out of
yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as if it couldn't get any worse. The next quote we have from Craig Berube. Now, this one's kind of a two-parter. It requires some context. Leafs then the next night, back to back, go to Ottawa and play against the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa. Now, for example, Anthony Stolarz takes, which we will talk a little bit later. Anthony Stolarz takes a puck up high during warmups, leaves the game, has to go to the hospital for preemptive imaging. Um, because William Nylander got him high accidentally during warmups.
Mm.
Post game, I believe Luke Fox has this quote. But post game, actually no, he doesn't. Who has it? Is it Dalter? I think it's Dalter. Post game, Easton Cowan score. Like Easton Cowan scores. So post game he talks to the media, which like, can we stop? Like I get it, he's a goal scorer in this game. Like, okay, the media is going to want to talk to the goal scorer. They keep putting Easton Cowan out like after the worst Leaf performances ever.
Mm.
And they're like, here you go, rookie. Go talk to the media in two big markets that like deeply hate the Toronto Maple Leafs. Here, tough game in Montreal. Go talk to the media. Oh, tough game in Ottawa. Go talk to the media. Have fun, kid.
It's like, no.
Just like, here we go. So Easton, oh, he has a article, okay. Oh, Nick Barden wrote the article. Good for you, Nick. Easton Cowan said after the game in Ottawa, I thought we started off pretty strong, Cowan said. Quote, I got on the penalty kill. They scored, and then it felt like it deflated us a bit. Yeah. Quote, it's tough, Cowan continued. I mean, every team goes through adversity, so you just got to stick together, stay positive, and be a tight-knit group, end quote. Which, like, to come from a 20-year-old kid in his first season in the NHL, and like who's by the way scored, but like just had to play like a tough game in Ottawa, which is notably like a rival city, like a big rival for Toronto, at least from the Ottawa side it is. But like, I'm sorry, it is like deflated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing, I see nothing wrong with that. And maybe there's some, like, hard heads will come in here and be like, well, actually, I think they should have played better, blah, blah, blah. Like, meh. But, like, I think it's a fair comment to make. Being like, yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Someone, I don't know who, someone then asked about Easton Cowan's comment about, that goal against being deflated. I don't know why they would be deflated after we gave up a power play goal, Berube said. We broke a stick. We're trying to get a stick. I mean, they scored a goal, but big deal. We played a good first period. I mean, I don't understand that thought process that you don't follow it up and be ready to go in the second and know that they're going to make a push and we don't respond well enough. So I don't really understand this deflated stuff, to be honest with you. I think it's a cop-out. End quote.
Craig.
Like, there's such a, like, I think all three of these situations, all three of these quotes show that there's a disconnect happening between maybe probably not the whole coaching staff, but at least Craig Berube in that room. And it's like, I know we say all the time, it's like, oh, we're not in the room, like, we don't know what's going on. I think you can read between the lines when it comes to comments made to the media.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you look at any of those and go like, yeah, they're totally all on the same page. They totally get it. Both sides, like the team does, every player there does, the coach gets it, they all get it. No one fucking gets it.
No. Because it's a shit show.
Yeah, but I also don't know how, like, if you're not Craig Berube, you can be like, well, I can see how we can get a bit deflated. Because, like, it was kind of like, not a shitty goal, but, like, Also, Easton Cowan has won more in the last 5 years than Craig Berube has.
So
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I don't know, Craig.
Easton Cowan, Memmer winner, Memmer MVP. Easton Cowan. And people are like, well, Craig Berube won the cup.
Yeah, well, he's not fucking winning them at the minute, so...
Yeah, and that was, what year are we? 7 years ago. That's how long 2019 was. 2019 was 7 years ago. 7 years ago, Easton Cowan was playing, like, AA.
2019 was 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Like, what was Easton Cowan playing in 2019?
I do not like that.
What hockey was he playing? He was probably playing like AA or AAA or something because he was like 13.
Oh my god.
Well, in fall of 2019, he was playing U15 AAA. I can't go any further back than that because his elite prospects doesn't go back that far. Easton Cowan's elite prospects does not go to this like 18-19 season. He is too young.
That I don't. Why is my?
There you go. I hear you now.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Ah, yay! So I plugged my laptop into charge and it just, as per, because technology doesn't like me. My laptop shot the bed.
But yeah, he's like, I'm sorry, you literally actually can't look at where Easton Cowan was playing in the spring of 2019
Because he
when
was
Craig
still
Berube
in the
won the
womb.
Stanley Cup because his elite prospects does not go back that far. I'm sure you could probably find that information out like somehow. Like I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard, but like
That's not the point.
that's not the point I'm trying to make here.
Oh my god.
Joseph Woll in 2019 was still at Boston College.
Oh.
Matthew Knies, I think he was playing you in the USHL. Yeah, he would have been because he would have still been in high school. You want to know how I know? Because I was still in high school in 2019.
Yep. Yep. Oh my god.
Like Matthew Knies is just the class above me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 2019. 2018, 2019. Matthew Knies was in his first season with the Tri-City Storm of the USA. He played 2 games. So probably if I went to his elite prospects,
That's crazy.
it would be like he was playing like AAA somewhere in Minnesota.
That is crazy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
God.
Oh my god. Did he play? Oh my god. Yeah, Matthew Knies was playing in the USHL with Shane Pinto.
Yeah, because that makes sense. Because that was so long ago.
That's so funny.
Oh, it is. It's just, time isn't real. Time is not real. Not to me.
Yeah. So just to put everything in a little bit of perspective.
Perspective again. Wish I didn't.
Just in the fact of like, hey, I think I don't know. I just think that like Craig Berube, like he needs to get fired. I'm sorry, like, and I think like Steve Dangle's been saying this for like 3 weeks. This roster that the Leafs have is not the worst in the NHL. Like on paper, this roster, even with like with Austin Matthews healthy, I guess probably adds to it. But like this roster on paper is not the worst in the NHL by far. There's far worse rosters that you can look at and be like, wow, this is a terrible roster. So if you look at that and you go, hey, we don't have like a bad roster. Why is this team playing bad? Well, there's no way that like 22 guys are all having the worst seasons of their lives all at the same time. Like that's just like unlikely. Maybe it's possible, but I don't think that's true because there's still guys that are playing well. I think the problem is that there is such a huge, like the coaches, and I don't want to label Craig Berube as a bad coach, but the coach has lost the room to such a degree that it doesn't matter how good of a roster you put together, the team is still gonna fucking lose more than they're going to win. And so I think you have to then look and be like, okay, well, we gotta wipe out like the whole coaching staff, except you're keeping Curtis Sanford because there's nothing wrong with your goalies, and you look at the goalies that he has coached that the Leafs have right now that they like have almost too many. Like you're looking at this offseason, like we've got to trade a goaltender. It will probably be Anthony Stolarz just on the basis of like he's the oldest one.
Yeah.
And the only one that you didn't draft and develop yourself.
It's like your other options are no, so.
Well, it's just your other options are the guy you've been working on drafting and developing since 2016, who's proven that he can be that starter for you in a tandem role, and also like is younger. And the even younger goaltender, in which you also drafted and developed, and has been putting up some of the best has put up great numbers in the NHL for you, the best numbers in the NHL for you this season, and also have been putting up really fucking good numbers in the AHL for your team. And then your other option, then the other guy you have waiting in the wings that you just signed to a 3-year extension is another guy you drafted and developed who is putting up career high numbers for himself in the AHL for your farm team. Who is even younger than the second guy. So I think, yeah, you draft the guy who's over 30. And it's like, no, it's nothing against Anthony Stolarz. I love Anthony Stolarz. I think was a great fit for this team. I think he was a great fit for the way that him and Woll worked together. I think they were a great tandem. I think it's nice that they got along. In the way that like goalies who work in that aspect as a true tandem should be. Yeah, you want all your guys to get along, absolutely, but like the fact that they seem to be close and they get along and they like working with each other is great. And it's like nothing, it's just he's old.
Yeah.
So that's what makes sense. But I think you also like Craig Berube has to go. That's like there's no question about it. I don't know how you can look at this season, look what he's been saying. Look at how everything's been working out and go like, yeah, I think we need to, ride this contract out. No.
Yeah, because
you're MLSE.
Even if
you're owned by Rogers.
Turn it around and like if you're Craig Berube, you're not getting these guys back.
No, like, there's no way that like, oh, we're just gonna let them like let the summer go and like hopefully when they come back in fucking September that everyone's going to be getting along and singing Kumbaya and everyone's going to like there's going to be magical harmony between like your head coach and your locker room. That's not how this works. You can't just like walk away from it and come back and expect things to change. No. You have to make the change. It's like, okay, also as well, if like they're like, well, he's still got a year left on his contract. Like, what are they going to It's MLSE.
They don't care.
It's MLSE who's now in the process, and I think they're almost done the process of being majority owned by Rogers, who is one of the biggest, like one of two big of the biggest telecommunication companies in the goddamn country. It's them and Bell, and Rogers is just buying out Bell. So I think they've got the money. Rogers made so much goddamn money off of the Blue Jays World Series that I think it's fine.
I think we'll manage.
I think it's perfectly out. Like I think they can have. MLSE was totally fine with firing Mike Babcock for as many. I think he had like 7 years left on his record-breaking contract. They gave Mike Babcock the most money a coach has ever received in the NHL, and they were fine with firing him and paying off that for 7 years.
They didn't care.
I think 1 year of paying off Craig Berube, who probably, like, I don't know how much he's getting paid. I don't know if it's the same amount as Mike Babcock, but it probably, like, it wasn't record breaking. So, like, there's probably coaches in the NHL who are getting paid more.
Yeah.
Whatever. Spend the money, pay him off, hire someone new in. If you get a young guy that is like, again, Steve Dangle was throwing out names because I know no one in the coaching sphere. Either, like, and you have options. There's like a multitude of young coaches. I think Colorado Eagles coach is a good option. Friend of the show, Cody, threw this out today. The Kitchener Rangers head coach, who has been having a great season with the Kitchener Rangers this year, who finished the first in their conference in the OHL. Promote him. Call him up. He doesn't have to move far because he has to move from Kitchener to Toronto. Oh, big whoop. 45 minutes. Wow.
Oh, no.
Whoa. Oh.
That's so far.
If you hire a young coach, a young up-and-comer, you don't have to pay them as much if you're worried about the money. Or you have the veteran option that everyone keeps throwing around for the past year, Peter DeBurrow. And people go, well, what about the goalies? Like, look at the way that Peter DeBurrow is going to blame the goalie. Like that's any different than what Craig Berube is doing now.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't just lay out a quote in which Craig Berube blamed the goaltender.
Like,
you don't have to commit to Peter DeBurrow for long.
But just anything's better than this.
You need, what, a year or two? And then you promote some guy. Hey, you could wipe all of the coaches clean, except for Curtis Stanford and Jordan Payton and Sam Kim. And you bring in UC Ahokas from the Kitchener Rangers. You bring in the guy who's the head coach of Colorado Eagles as your assistants. Or you let Peter DeBurrow build whatever fucking team he wants. I don't care. But you bring those two guys in. Oh, 2 years go by. Time to move on from Peter DeBurrow because he's worn out his welcome, as he tends to in most places he goes. Oh, fire him. Promote one of the two guys under him. Oh, wow. Look at that. Wow, we've solved the issue. Or, who knows? Maybe in a couple years, who's going to be ready for the promotion? Mark Giordano, who's behind your bench with the Marlies. I don't know. He says he enjoys it. I talked to him last week.
Which, crazy.
Very nice guy, by the way.
Oh.
But, like, and then I think also as well, I think, Brad Treliving needs to go. But if you're going to fire Brad Treliving, you kind of got to do it now. Or very soon. Because you can't do it the way you did it last time when you fired your GM and then spent 6 weeks looking for the new GM. And by the time the other GM got settled, it's too late to do anything. So you've wasted an off season.
It's like,
so you do it now.
Get a wiggle on.
I'm not saying you fire Craig Berube now. I'm saying you wait until like morning of April 16th. Season's done. Locker cleanup. Boom. Bye. See ya.
Bye.
But if you're gonna move on from your GM, which I think they should, because you got how many assistants that you can just promote or do whatever, or like not have, like, just have someone who is the GM, but like then also have all these other people that are doing all the other decisions. It doesn't fucking matter. Who cares?
Nope.
You got to do it now so you can start the search. And before you say, oh, who are they? Not Doug Armstrong, the man who's stepping down from his role with the St. Louis Blues because he wants to move towards retirement because he's too old. You're not going to you maybe could do it for a president's role. Maybe you could be like, oh, Mr. President, Doug Armstrong. That works. Yeah. But literally, you could probably find any player agent who wants to, I don't know, any player agent, because look at the way Kent Hughes has worked out in Montreal. Look at the way Bill Cito is doing in Florida.
Yeah.
Surely there's a player agent out there who wants to become an NHL GM. There's your options. I don't know. Fuck, like, promote. You just have to do it before you don't have any more time to. And then this off season goes to waste and you got to go through another year of just bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Leafs lose against Ottawa's Anthony Stolarz was injured in warmups. William Nylander shot high. I'm not going to blame William Nylander for this. But I'm not going to blame William Nylander for this, but then like people, because like accidents happen, but then people were like, oh, there's a, like, it's not the first time a shot's gone high in warmups and he's injured a goalie. Did it to Garrett Sparks. There's another guy he did it who like, yeah, sucks. Luckily Stolarz is okay. He's fine. He should be good to go. Probably play tomorrow in Boston. Leafs did call up Dennis Hildeby for emergency reasons. Don't know what that would be. I don't know if that means that like they're gonna be able to have Dennis back up against Boston tomorrow and then give Wool like the total night off or what. I don't know. I don't know if it was just precautionary in case Stolarz couldn't play. Like, I don't know. We didn't get any answers today. So,
no.
But yeah, so Leafs are on their mentors trip right now for this road home and away, I guess. Which is always lovely. I love the mentors trip. I'm, just like, it's too bad they're doing it now and not like 3 months ago where you could be like, hey, it's okay if they lose. There's still time. Now it's just sort of like you're just inviting.
Now
it's
I get
like
to lose in front of someone who means a lot to
it's
me.
like if halfway, like, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, the Titanic just picked up more passengers.
Yep.
Like that's what this is. It's like quite literally. It's like, there's nothing, but like because they crashed off the coast of Newfoundland, so it's not even like I could be like, oh, like, but it's like literally in the middle of, like, Titanic sets off halfway through. They're like just like they pick up more people to be on the boat.
Yeah.
And then they drop them off again, like just before they hit the iceberg. Like the iceberg is in sight, and they're like, okay, now you guys can all get off the boat. Here's a lifeboat. Goodbye. That's what this is.
Yep.
But yeah, I do love the Toronto Mentors trip. I think it's always fun to see who like the players bring, people who are impactful on their life. I think it's always just a nice gesture as well, for like players, friends, and family to get to see what it's like to in their lives for a couple of days. So it'll be the game tomorrow in Boston against Bruins, with Fraser Minton on the top line for Boston, according to today's practice. And then on Wednesday, back at home to play the New York Rangers. So that's fun.
Yep.
Yeah. Choose your warrior. It's top line Easton Cowan versus top line Fraser Minton, and they're not for the same team. They're not on the same team.
No, it's a reminder of
the kid line that could have been.
The kid line that could have been.
God, I still have more than that. I think we got that like for like one shift in one preseason game. Like
I miss what we never had.
Like 2 years ago. I was like still upset about that. Yeah, Toronto also signed 2 NCAA free agents this week. One of them, Vinny Borghese, which Italian name. Love it.
Yep.
It's just a great Italian. Sorry. His full name's Vincent, but he goes by Vinny. Vinny Borghese.
Like my guy.
Mamma mia. Incredible.
Mamma mia indeed.
Who is a 5'8" right-handed puck-moving defenseman from Northeastern, led the NCAA, I believe, in average time on ice, which is incredible. I didn't know much about him, and then luckily all of our the people at Offsides who are much more NCAA puck knowers than I am, were very high on him, including friend of the show, Arya, who was like, he's great, he's awesome, you're gonna love him. I'm like, fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw 5'8", because I like saw it. I saw the like tweet that they had signed him, and I was like, and I saw he was a defenseman. I was like, let me guess, this man is going to be 6'2" or taller. No, he's 5'8",
Nope.
which I was like, what happened to Brett Treliving?
What happened to Brad Living indeed?
But yes, Toronto. They also signed Brendan Burr, who is let me just I want to make sure I get this right before I mess up. Brendan Burr, who is from Union College. He also played for Clarkson University. But he is a 6'2" forward, right-handed forward, who I believe also was the captain for Union College as well, which is very exciting. Good for him. Very exciting. It's always fun to have people. I don't know. And I like look when people are like, oh, but like, what will they do? I think any NCAA signing, especially for a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs who just have this money, like they do, they have more money than they can spend probably. Even with the way the team's performing, any like NCAA free agent signing is so low risk, high reward for the team, because either you find a diamond in the rough like you did with Bobby McMann, and you develop a player like Bobby McMann, who became a regular top 6 guy for the Leafs before he was traded to Seattle, and now he's a regular top 6 guy for Seattle and has like 5 goals in his last 4 games. Like, if you stupid, but he's become like he scored he has scored the most goals this season for an undrafted player. He is tied with Artemi Panarin, who is undrafted, yes, but not in the same way that Bobby McMann is. When Artemi Panarin signed with Chicago, everyone knew he was going to be a very good hockey player. He won the Calder.
Yeah, like
that's Calder winner Artemi Panarin. Tied for goals of undrafted players with Bobby McMann, theater minor, University of Colgate University. But like that, so you either get a guy who can like fill the ranks in your AHL roster, especially right now when the Marlies are very thin, because a lot of their guys are getting called up to the Leafs because the Leafs are really thin. And if you look, for every time the Marlies put up their lineup, they also put their like list of injuries and scratches. It's a very long list in the past like week and a bit if you've paid attention.
Yeah.
They have a lot of guys out because they're hurt. And they're also missing quite a few guys because they're with the Leafs. So just having guys like Vinny Borghese, who can play well, who could just log a lot of ice time for you as well, and Brandon Burr, who can play well, like, that's so low risk, high reward that I like, for an organization like the Toronto Maple Leafs, it just makes sense that you sign these guys, especially because you have no draft, like no picks. So like, why not just essentially get guys for free? Like, yes, you're still paying them a salary, but for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's getting guys for free. And maybe you get a Bobby McMann.
Maybe, just maybe, you get a Bobby McMann.
Which would be great.
Yep.
Some
I wish
other...
we could get a Bobby McMann.
I'd love to get a Bobby McMann.
Yeah. It'd be so nice to have a Bobby McMann on your team.
Next episode, we just introduce Bobby McMann as our new co-host.
Hey, Bobby!
Bobby McMann, yes, he's on our team. That team is the From the Fourth Line podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we've got between us a line. And you know what? I think we'd do better. We wouldn't look out of place on the current Leafs.
That is, the first winner of the
From the
fourth line Blorbo of the
Year
Year award, which, by the way, we do need to open the voting for that soon.
We do. Oh, I get to use Canva again. I get my Canva enrichment time where I make a silly picture.
But yes, in some other, so yes, start thinking about who you want to nominate for
Mhm.
Blorbo of the Year. Keep in mind, it is bottom six or bottom pair defenseman or backup goaltender.
Mm.
That's our definition of Blorbo.
Much to think about.
But yes, also as well, the NHL draft lottery, which I can't believe I saw this date get announced, and I was like, oh wait a minute, I gotta actually like know this.
Mm.
The
Oh,
NHL
cool.
draft lottery is on May 5th. Did you you had the same realization that I did when I saw that date?
Yeah. We're gonna have so much fun, aren't we, Emma?
Oh, I cannot wait.
Oh boy.
The
Yay!
NHL draft lottery is on May 5th, which is of pertinence to us as Leaf fans and a Leaf podcast, because there's a chance that the Leafs, actually no, the Leafs will be in the draft lottery. There's a chance that this is a very impactful pick for the Toronto Maple Leafs, depending on where they finish. Who knows, because the Pacific is so bad. They're so bad.
So bad.
I did I think at one point I think I said on the show that Leafs have to go like 4-10 to close out the season. To have to probably be in that bottom five. It looks like they can do it.
Mm.
So, another piece of non-Leaf related news. The Bridgeport Islanders, which is the New York Islanders AHL affiliate, has announced that they are moving to Hamilton, Ontario. They will play in TD Coliseum, which was just newly renovated and finished in the past 6 months. The arena seats 18,000, which I think is among the highest for AHL capacity. I believe so. Let me do a quick scan. Okay, so Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, where the Cleveland Monsters play, is higher by about 926. Oh, and also I forgot that the Calgary Wranglers play in the Saddle Dome. So it's in the top 3, which is still pretty good. It is higher. It is currently much higher than where the Islanders currently play. Let me just word. Oh, there we go. It is 10,000 seats bigger than where the Islanders currently play in Total Mortgage Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I know that people there are people who live in New England who are very upset about Connecticut losing another hockey team. I will say on TD Coliseum, they just finished this renovation. When they decide to renovate TD Coliseum, the Hamilton Bulldogs, who were playing in the old Coliseum, moved to Brantford. In that time between them moving from Hamilton to Brantford, they were bought out by the Hyman family. So Zach Hyman and his family. I think his brother's the GM or something like that. Now, meaning that, and they also promised that they were going to keep the team in Brantford. They're going to make renovations to that arena to make it better for fans and players, meaning they're not moving back to Hamilton. Now, also as well, another team who played in Hamilton was the Belleville Senators affiliate in Belleville. There was talks about potentially, because Michael Andlauer, who's the owner of the Ottawa Senators, used to own the Hamilton Bulldogs, who played in Hamilton when they played in Hamilton, that he would potentially move the Belleville Senators to Hamilton. This caused a huge uproar in Belleville because the only thing that Belleville has for them is the B-Sens. Then Andlauer said, no, we're not moving the B-Sens out of Belleville. They are going to stay in Belleville. Meaning Hamilton gets left without a hockey team when you do the math in that way. They're not getting a team coming back, moving back to the city who was previously there. But also, that arena cannot just sit empty and only host concerts and the occasional PWHL takeover tour game. In order to keep the lights on in that arena, they need to have a team in there playing a full season. So unfortunately, it makes sense that, this team, that this team can move. They can sell 10,000 more tickets potentially than they could in their previous arena. And they're going to play in a state-of-the-art brand new. It makes sense. It's unfortunate that's the Bridgeport Islanders. I do also feel like they probably had some of the most insecurity in where they were playing. It seems like there was the most insecurity in that team's leadership, in the team's ownership.
Yeah.
That them moving to Hamilton seems now like a very likely just outcome. It's awaiting board of approval from the board of the AHL Board of Governors. I don't see that decision being overturned as a likely possibility because 10,000 more seats in a pretty big hockey market in Ontario, Southern Ontario, with direct train lines from Toronto. Once they move next season, yeah, I'll be going down to Hamilton to see a game. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah, I'm going to go see Kayshawn Aitchison and Cole Eiserman. And potentially Matthew Schaefer. There keeps being talks about Matthew Schaefer playing in the AHL next year. And I think it's really funny because I'm like, have you guys looked at Matthew Schaefer? It was because of this. It was because of their rule that is probably going to be implemented as talks continue to improve. This was a Hockey Night Saturday headline. That, as for next year, when the new CBA gets completely implemented next season, there's a rule in there about NHL teams being able to send one of their prospects, a 19-year-old prospect who's playing in the CHL, to the AHL, which is something they previously could not do. You either had to play for your CHL team or for your NHL team, and you couldn't play for your the AHL affiliate of your NHL team until you turned 20, until your 20-year-old season. But now there's rules that it's going to be only first-round picks, but first-round picks with no limit, no team limit of how many an NHL team can but 19-year-old first-round picks will be able to play with their AHL affiliate, which will be 2007 born players will be in their 19-year-old season next year. So that'll be players like Ben Kindle, that'll be players like Matthew Schaefer, essentially anyone from last year's draft class, any 07s. So it also would be late 07s from this year's draft class.
I don't like that.
Can be able to play for the AHL affiliate of their NHL franchise. So so that means people are like, what if Matthew Schaefer's playing in Hamilton, Ontario? I was like, I don't think after the essentially Calder winning season that Matthew Schaefer is having, that they are going to send him, unless the sophomore slump hits like crazy. I don't think they're going to be sending him to the NHL. I don't think they're going to be sending him to Hamilton.
No.
I will say that I do think it's really funny to make Cole Eiserman move from Boston to Hamilton, Ontario. I think that's absolutely hilarious.
So fucking funny.
I think people are missing out on the opportunity to just be yeah, Cole Eiserman has to live in Hamilton, Ontario now. But I do think it's great. I will be going to games. You get the draw from people coming in from London. It's not hard to get to Hamilton. Fun fact about Hamilton, if you're writing in the CP style, it's the only other Ontario city besides Toronto and Ottawa where you don't have to put the province next to it when you're writing a place line. Things you learn in journalism.
Things you learn.
But yeah. I think that is all. So with that being said, I think we will end this episode here. We will be back on Thursday with another episode, I guess, to talk about the Leafs.
Mm.
In the meantime, you can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. That's fourth with the number 4 TH. And if you miss, hearing from us in the meantime, you can go see how much Ella's been posting about Hail Mary.
Look, it's not fun. It's quite funny the way I've got this call open in one tab and Project Hail Mary open in another. I know what I'm watching.
I've seen the edits. It looks like a beautiful film. It also looks like a film that will make me cry, and therefore I'm putting off watching it.
Yeah, no, after I finished it last night, I sent Carl a 45-second voice note of me sobbing hysterically. And then being like, I have to go to the pub in an hour. So anyway, yeah, I'm taking my mum to see it at the cinema. And we will cry. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Or you can see I don't know, you can see my tweets. What have I been tweeting about? I think I've been on a Joseph Wool defense run recently.
The Joseph Wool Defense Squad is a full-time job at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm putting it on my LinkedIn. Full-time employment.
Yeah. You can see what I guess this week I'll be tweeting about the Blue Jays because their season opener is on Friday. So, yeah. But you can follow us on Twitter at 60 Leaves for Ella, at PearB1 for myself. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back on Thursday. And in the meantime,
do something, Leafs. Do something.
Yeah, I guess so. Do something.
At this point, anything.
Literally anything. Something. I mean, they don't have a lot to do. They don't have a lot they can do, so the options are pretty limited.